Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The shadow knows.
The Shadow, who aids the forces of law and order, is in reality Lamont Cranston, wealthy young man about town. Several years ago, while in the Orient, Cranston learned a strange and mysterious secret, the hypnotic power to cloud men's minds so they cannot see him. Cranston's friend, Margot Lane, is the only person who knows to whom the voice of the invisible shadow belongs. The Shadow's Revenge will be postponed until further notice. This month's drama, The Hands of Death, originally written on October 17th, 1954 by Judith and David Bublick, is about a man with strange hypnotic eyes, a cathode tube, and a beautiful young woman who died of old age. And now, The Shadow and The Hands of Death. It is almost midnight. In a dark, secluded spot on the outskirts of the city, a single light burns in the window of a small building, the home and laboratory of Felix Grelling. Suddenly, a car looms up out of the darkness and comes to a stop before the small house. A man, shrouded in a black cape, steps out and walks quietly up to the front door.
Yes?
Dr. Grelling,
Yes?
may I come in?
Well, it's very late, and...
Thank you.
Just one moment. Before you make yourself too much at home, what is it you want to see me about?
You will know very soon, Dr. Grelling. Or should I say, Dr. Gross?
Gross!
So sorry. Perhaps I should not have mentioned the name which you have tried so very hard to forget.
What do you know about Gross?
Everything. That you are, shall we say, a fugitive from justice. That if certain facts were known, you would instantly lose your position at the university, and, in all probability, be incarcerated in some local dungeon for many years.
How could you possibly know about me? Only one man in all the world knew.
Old Rama Shandu, the Hindu scientist with whom you worked for many years in the mountains of Tibet, trying to unlock the secrets of cosmic rays.
You look as if you come from India yourself. Although your eyes... I've never seen such eyes in a...
Yes, I was born in India, many, many years ago.
What? I don't believe you. You're only a young man, hardly more than 25, I'd say.
Am I?
And yet, somehow, somewhere, your path must have crossed that of old Rama Shandu, and he told you about me. After I swore him to secrecy.
No, Dr. Grelling. Shandu never told your secret to a living soul. You were the one who told me.
What? How could I? I've never seen you before, and...
Look at me, Felix.
Felix, how do you...
Look at me well. Do I look familiar?
No, I don't... Wait, there is a faint resemblance. You could be... Yes, you must be a son, no, a grandson of old Rama Shandu. Why do you laugh?
My friend, Rama never had a son or grandson. I am Rama Shandu.
What sort of joke is this? Rama was an old man when I worked with him 30 years ago. He'd be well over 90 now.
I am exactly 106 years old.
Come now. How can you expect anyone to believe that?
I can prove it, Grelling. I have been very careful to preserve proof. Photographs, fingerprints, and so on. But I didn't think I would have to prove it to you. You know what we were working on together. You know what we learned.
Yes, that cosmic radiation is responsible for the aging process.
Precisely. That the cosmic bombardment by cosmic rays from outer space, from the day we are born, is what makes us grow old and wither and become feeble.
Yes, but what does that to do with you?
Years ago, after you left me, I discovered a method of warding off these cosmic rays, a process by which the human body could be enabled to repel the rays, stop the aging process, and grow young again.
And you've used this process on yourself?
Yes. Year by year, as my body grew stronger, my heart and lungs and glands, I grew younger and younger. I have come back to you, in my prime.
Incredible.
And now, my dear Grelling, I am ready to demonstrate my discovery to the world, with your help, of course.
My help? No. I won't have anything to do with it.
I think you will. Yes, I know you will. I know too much about you. You and I, Felix, we will find some young and very beautiful person. We will subject her to the Shandu process, and we will keep her young and enchanting forever.
Well, Margot, did I misrepresent the facts?
Oh, no, Lamont. You said this is one of the finest restaurants in the city. And it is. What I don't understand is how they can afford it.
Who?
The young actors and actresses. This place is full of them.
If you take a closer look, you'll notice only the very successful ones right here. The top racket.
You're right. Why, Lamont, this place is practically a who's who of the theater. Look over there. Robert Ashe. And over there, Greta Ander.
Mr. Cranston? Mr. Cranston, please.
I beg your... Oh, Miss Shaw. How are you? You know Margot Lane.
Of course. That was a perfectly charming party you gave at your apartment last week.
Mr. Cranston, Miss Lane, please don't think I've suddenly gone mad, but I'm frightened to death.
Frightened? About what?
A man.
What man? Where?
Back there. Just a table or two away from where I was sitting. No, don't look now. He's watching us.
What about him, Netta? What is it that frightens you?
The way he looks at me. His eyes. He has the strangest, dark, piercing eyes. Eyes that look as if they've seen everything. Eyes that almost hypnotize you.
Oh, come now.
It's true, I tell you. He kept staring at me all through dinner.
Naturally, you are a beautiful girl.
Are you sure you weren't imagining it?
No, I could see him out of the corner of my eye. Even when I turned my back to him, I could feel those eyes boring into me. Lamont, I'm terrified.
Well, suppose you turn right around now and point him out for me. Perhaps I can stare him down.
No, you don't understand.
Miss Shaw?
Oh, very well. He's sitting right behind... No, he's gone. He's not there anymore.
There. You see?
Just finished his coffee and took off. Even as you and...
I wish I could think so, Mr. Cranston. But I can't get those eyes of his out of my mind.
Well, maybe a good night's sleep will do it. I suggest you go home, Netta. Drink a glass of warm milk and go to bed.
Yes, I suppose you're right. Good night, Mr. Cranston. Sorry I bothered you.
Not at all. Good night.
Good night, Netta. Sleep well.
Thank you, Margot. Good night, Mario. No taxi, I'll walk. It's only a few blocks. Ought to be ashamed of myself. Kicking up such a fuss over. What's that? Up ahead. Shadow. Someone's there. A man coming out of the alley. I've got to run. I've got to. But I can't move. I can't.
Good evening, mademoiselle.
It's you.
Yes. You followed me from the restaurant. I knew you would. You could not resist my hypnotic powers, although you tried. Now, you will come with me, quietly.
Where are you taking me?
You have nothing to fear, my dear. I'm going to give you what men have searched and died for throughout the centuries. I'm going to give you the gift of eternal youth.
I don't know why it is, Lamont, but every time Commissioner Weston sends out an SOS for you, it means a visit to the morgue.
Not every time, Margot.
Well, almost every time.
Don't you like it here?
Oh, sure. I love it. I wouldn't give this up for a front row ticket to a Broadway show.
Well, I know how you feel, but an unidentified body, death under peculiar circumstances, and causes from unknown, you can't blame Weston for being upset.
She's an old woman. She died. Her body was found in the park. There's nothing mysterious about that.
Glad you think so, Miss Lane.
Commissioner, I didn't hear you come in.
I've just been talking to the department laboratory. They've come up with a few items that may change your mind.
Something strange about the cause of death?
I'll say. The poor woman was shot full of some foreign substance. Only the fellows in the lab can't identify it.
What kind of substance? What does it do? What's the effect of it?
The medical examiner is stumped, but the electronics division reports that for some unknown reason there's a magnetic field all around the body. A strong electrical charge.
What?
But she didn't die of electric shock or poisoning?
No. Nor of old age either.
How can you be sure of that, Commissioner?
How? Hold on to your hats. This old woman, shriveled, wrinkled, bent with age, was 27 years old yesterday.
What?
Oh, no, Commissioner. That's impossible.
It's unbelievable, Lamont, but it's true. We have labels in her clothing, a birthmark on her arm, her fingerprints, which match those found all over her apartment. This old woman, found dead in the park, is Netta Shaw, the beautiful young actress. Frightened by a strange man with dark hypnotic eyes, Netta Shaw, a beautiful young actress, appealed to Lamont Cranston for help. The next day she was found dead in the park, mysteriously aged and withered. Unable to account for the incredible change, Cranston decides to consult an expert. As he and Margot Lane drive to the outskirts of the city, Margot says,
Lamont, this man we're going to see, you say he's an expert?
One of the greatest.
Expert in what?
Geriatrics.
What's that?
The science that deals with aging and old age.
Is that a science? I thought old age just naturally happens.
For years, Margot, doctors and other scientists have been trying to discover what the aging process is. It causes the living things to develop, grow stronger, bigger up in a certain point, then gradually begin to shrivel and decay.
Well, have they learned anything?
Nothing conclusive, though there are a number of theories.
And you think this professor we're going to see may be able to throw some light on Netta Shaw's death?
It's worth a try. I'd certainly like to find out what could cause a person to age 50 years overnight.
So would I, Lamont. But I have a hunch we won't get much from this expert of yours. What did you say his name was?
Grelling. Dr. Felix Grelling.
I'm honored by your visit, Mr. Cranston. I had no idea my feeble efforts had attracted anyone's attention.
Oh, don't be so modest, Dr. Grelling. I've been following your work for many years.
Really?
Only a few months ago, I read your report on your experiments with vegetables.
Vegetables?
Dr. Grelling has developed a process by which certain foods can be preserved almost indefinitely, without refrigeration.
Only, unfortunately, it costs about $5 to preserve one carrot.
A little too expensive. Professor, do you use all this equipment in your work?
Oh, yes. We have a small but very complete laboratory. Electric generators, cathode tubes, a Wilson cloud chamber, chemical equipment, and a small X-ray unit.
Very impressive. Dr. Grelling, perhaps with all this know-how, you can answer one small question for me.
I'll be glad to try.
Last night, the body of an old woman was found lying in the park.
An old woman?
Well, she looked old. Her skin, face, hands, and body were all shriveled up. But the investigation established that she was really a young woman. A beautiful young woman who had aged overnight.
Oh, no, Mr. Cranston. That's impossible.
Just what I said.
Nevertheless, it's true. Professor, you must have some sort of theory on how such thing could happen.
No, I don't know anything about such things. I had nothing to do with it. Why do you...
Hold on, Professor. No one's accusing you of anything. It's just that... Oh.
You must excuse my colleague, sir. Dr. Grelling is so easily excited.
Lamont, those eyes.
Margot. I don't know you had a colleague, Dr. Grelling.
Yes, may I present Rama Shandu, a brilliant scientist, Mr. Cranston and Miss Lane.
How do you do? Mr. Cranston, I happened to overhear what you said about the unfortunate young lady. Very interesting.
Well then, perhaps you can give us some information.
No, I'm afraid not. It is out of my field. However, if you like, we can think about it. There may be some clue in the scientific papers written about the subject.
You don't have much hope, though, do you, Mr. Shandu?
In science, Miss Lane, one can be neither hopeful nor discouraged. One of my wisest teachers, Professor Li Xing at the University of Shanghai, used to say that a scientist must be as unemotional as a test tube.
You will try to help us, won't you?
Of course, Mr. Cranston. And as soon as I think of something, we will let you know.
Thank you, Mr. Shandu. And you too, Professor Grelling. Good day.
Goodbye.
Good day, Miss Lane.
I don't like it, Shandu. I don't like it at all.
Don't like what?
Cranston's coming here to ask questions about the girl.
Why shouldn't he come here? After all, you are the greatest in the field. After me. What are you doing?
I'm leaving. I'm getting out of here before it's too late.
It is too late, my friend. You are in this with me, and you will stay to the end.
I tried to tell you, Lamont, but you wouldn't let me.
Try to tell me what, Margot?
When we were back there, at Dr. Greling's place, I tried to call your attention to Shandu's eyes.
What about his eyes? They're dark, yes. There's nothing remarkable about that.
Just the same, I saw you giving him a pretty thorough looking over.
Well, there were a few things about that setup that bothered me. For one thing, I didn't like the way that Grelling jumped when we mentioned the body of Netta Shaw.
Mm-hmm. And it was just then that Shandu walked in, as though he felt his colleague was getting in too deep.
He's a pretty young man to be a colleague of an old-timer like Grelling. Usually they call fellows that young their assistants. Something odd about that.
And their equipment. I never saw anything like it in my life.
I don't know. The only strange thing in that place was the Wilson cloud chamber.
Cloud chamber? What in the world is that?
An instrument that records the pressure of energized particles in our atmosphere, particularly cosmic rays.
I don't follow you.
And there's a theory, Margot, endorsed by many leading scientists, that all living things get old and gradually disintegrate because they're subjected to constant bombardment of cosmic rays.
Cosmic rays? From where?
Outer space. No one really knows where they originate, but we do know that they're constantly showering down on the Earth, striking us all in time, like so many beta or gamma rays.
But we never see them or feel them?
No. And yet they may be destroying us slowly, like water dripping constantly on a rock.
Lamont! That girl! Netta Shaw! She suddenly got old and withered long before her time. As if...
Yes. As if she's been hit by a massive bombardment of cosmic rays.
Is it possible? Do you think that Grelling and Shandu had anything to do with Netta Shaw's death?
I can't say for sure, but I intend to find out. We'll drop you off at your apartment. You'll wait there till you hear from me.
Where are you going?
To the university, to look up one small item that intrigues me. If I find what I'm looking for, there'll be work for you. And the shadow.
Investigating the death of beautiful young Netta Shaw, who had apparently aged overnight, Lamont, Cranston, and Margot Lane have sought information from Dr. Felix Grelling, an authority in the field of geriatrics, the science dealing with the process of aging. But certain things in his laboratory have made them suspicious, and Cranston is trying to find out whether Grelling and his associate, Rama Shandu, had anything to do with the death of Netta Shaw. Cranston has checked on a significant clue and has issued instructions to Margot. And now, in Grelling's laboratory, Shandu is arguing with Dr. Grelling.
It's no use, Felix. I'm telling you once more, you cannot withdraw from our venture now.
Your venture, not ours. I was perfectly content with my lectures and experiments until you came along.
Experiments? With vegetables? With carrots and turnips? I gave you the opportunity to experiment with real human beings.
Yes, and your experiment ended with death. You killed that poor girl, murdered her with your mad dreams and untested techniques.
My dear Felix, you are getting positively maudlin.
You promised her eternal youth, and instead you turned her into a horrible old corpse.
A slight error in calculation, that's all, and very easily corrected. I will prove it to you as soon as we find our next subject.
Our next subject? Are you utterly mad? Do you think...
I will answer it. Your nerves are a little unstrung. Well, Miss Lane, this is a surprise.
I'm sorry to barge in on you this way.
We're delighted, aren't we, Dr. Grelling?
No. Go away, Miss Lane, please. Go away.
Oh, poor Dr. Grelling. So conscientious. Dislikes so much to be interrupted in his work. Don't mind him, Miss Lane. Come right in.
But I wouldn't want to disturb you.
Oh, you won't disturb us, I assure you. As a matter of fact, you may be of considerable help to us. Yes, you came at just the right time.
No, Shandu, I won't let you do it.
Please. All I came back for was my handkerchief. I must have dropped it back there near your equipment. I remember I had it out for a moment.
In that case, we must go back and look for it. Come.
I'd never have bothered, except that I happened to be passing by.
Of course. And no one knows you are here?
Why, no.
Excellent. Excellent. Did you hear that, Dr. Grelling?
Oh, here it is, on the floor. I knew That's funny.
Something wrong?
This hanky. It's not mine at all.
It must be. It's a lady's handkerchief. And you are the only...
Wait, there's a monogram on it. N.S.
N.S.?
I've seen that monogram somewhere lately. Unusual, isn't it? I wonder. Of course! Netta Shaw! She had a monogram on things all over her apartment.
You must be mistaken, Miss Lane. We don't know any...
She was here! Netta Shaw came here, or was brought here. A beautiful young girl. And you did something to her with...
Really, Miss Lane?
Those horrible machines and things. You turned her into an old woman. You killed her and threw her shriveled body into the park. Why? Why?
I told you, Shandu. I told you it was no good.
No, but it will be. My congratulations, Miss Lane. You really are very clever and also very beautiful.
You fiend! You horrible creature!
I am sorry you feel that way. I could have done such wonderful things for you.
Like what?
Oh, I could have put you through my electro-repellent process, made you immune to cosmic radiation, granted you eternal youth.
As you did for Netta Shaw.
What happened to her was only an accident. In your case, Miss Lane, the result will be the same. Only, it will not be an accident.
What?
I must do it, my dear. I have no choice. You know too much. And you are in my way. Grelling, get everything ready.
Don't touch me! Please don't touch me!
It won't hurt, Miss Lane. You won't feel a thing. Just one injection of this fluid and you won't even know when the electrodes are attached. Start the cyclogenerator, Grelling.
No, stay away from me! Help! Someone, please help!
Who's that? Who laughed?
No one. You're imagining things.
Why did you turn off the cyclogenerator, Grelling?
I didn't.
Then who did?
The shadow.
What shadow? I see no one.
No one sees the shadow, but the shadow
No.
sees all.
No, I don't believe it. It's a trick. Turn on the generator, Grelling. Hurry.
Impossible. Something's holding it.
You fool. You're ruining everything.
No, Rama Shandu. You are the one who has ruined everything. You thought you could improve on nature, turn back the clock, make people live forever.
Yes. Yes. I can do it. I can improve upon the work of God.
All you did was murder an innocent girl. For that crime, you will answer to God.
Murder? Crime? Oh, no, Shadow. There was no murder. The lady died of old age. You cannot punish me for that. No one can punish me for that.
I can, Shandu.
What?
I can punish you with this gun.
No. No, Dr. Grelling. Don't shoot.
You've lived long enough, Shandu. Too long. This is the end.
No, Dr. Grelling. Don't shoot. No. You can't take the law here.
Let go of me! I've got to do it now! 106 years old. He was a wicked, evil creature. Always. He should have died 50 years ago.
Look! His face, his throat, his body. They're changing.
No, it can't be.
He's getting older and older by the second. Those wrinkles. He's shriveling up before our eyes.
His hair, white. His hands twisted and gnarled.
That face! That awful face! I can't bear to look at him.
A man 106 years old, who looked so young just a few moments ago.
And now looks like death itself. He managed to hold it off for many years, but in the end, nature took its toll, as it always does. The shadow knows.
Dr. Grelling voluntarily accompanied Margot Lane down to police headquarters and gave himself up. Now, after making her report and seeing Grelling booked for the murder of Rama Shandu, Margot is with Lamont Cranston, driving away from police headquarters.
Lamont, do you suppose Rama Shandu was right?
About what?
About his claim that he couldn't be tried for the death of Netta Shaw because she died of old age.
I'm pretty sure he was wrong, Margot. The fact that he did cause her death, the method is immaterial. Whether it's shooting, poisoning, or strangling.
It seems a pity. Such a great scientist, a man who did succeed in keeping himself young for over 100 years.
Whether or not his method had anything to do with him living so long, no one will ever know. He left no notes. He didn't even confide in Grelling.
Lamont, when you went to the university without me, what was it you found out that made you so sure that Shandu was connected with the death of Netta Shaw?
You remember Shandu mentioning Li Sai, the great professor he studied with in Shanghai? Well, tucked away in the back of my mind was an item about Li Sai. Something about his wonderful achievements during the First World War.
The First World War? That was over 55 years ago.
Exactly. If Shandu studied under him, he would have been close to 85.
So you checked?
And I was right. I put two and two together and sent you back to Grelling's lab with one of Netta Shaw's hankies. One I picked up at her apartment on the way back from the university.
And I dropped it, pretending it was mine. What's going to happen to poor Felix Grelling? After all, he did try to save me.
He'll have to pay for his crimes. Killing of Shandu, and as well as the earlier crimes. The embezzlements and forgeries.
He didn't really have to confess to those earlier crimes. No one would have known.
No one but Grelling himself, and he was bound to carry the guilty knowledge with him for the rest of his life.
So he decided to make a clean breast of everything.
Yes. He may spend a few years in prison, Margot. With nothing to conceal, even behind bars. He's a free man at last.
The shadow.